What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today we're talking about the Open Ultra League, and this team actually got me up onto the global leaderboards for the second time this season. It's an all-season high of 31.43. I did in the next set actually hit 31.44. I had a set in which I won 2 matches, lost 2 matches and tied a game, and actually gained just 1 elo point for it, which was kind of amusing. But yeah, really happy with the performance of this team. Kind of surprised it wouldn't on paper look like the most strong team to help you climb up towards global leaderboards. There's no Walrein, there's no Trevenant, there's no Shadows. But somehow this team has managed to climb and has done pretty well. And the battles we got coming up are against some of the best trainers in the world. Some of the matches we have range from around the 3000 elo point to 3250, because when you're at this high of an elo rating, the matchups take so long to find. My average search time was about 10 minutes per game to find an opponent, because you're really reaching that point where it's struggling to match up with people at a similar elo because there aren't many people to actually get matched up with. So I'll probably drop down a little bit after this to make the matchups a little easier and make some more content and teams for you guys. That being said, if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free. We're on the road to 1000 subscribers. If you're enjoying the content, consider liking the video, and let's take a look at today's team. So on the lead, we are running Lugia. Now, Lugia has always been a reasonably solid shout for the Ultra League, especially since Dragon Tail got its buff a couple of seasons ago. Lugia has been very viable. It's very, very bulky. But I haven't really seen anyone utilising it this season, and this is a shiny Lugia back from the first time I was out shiny hunting Lugia way back in 2018, and it doesn't even have Aeroblast, and I didn't want to spend an Elite Charge TM to give it Aeroblast, because like I said, I was giving this team a try just to see how it went, just as a bit of spice, and it's done really well. It doesn't actually need Aeroblast. I think it can help out in a couple of matchups, but it's not super necessary. In the back, we've got Obstagoon, and this is not a PvP IV Obstagoon. This was the first one that I built quickly once Galarian Zigzagoon was first released, and I haven't got around to building a better one with more bulk. In the back, we do have an XL Alolan Ninetales. This is level 51, best bunny Alolan Ninetales. It is running Charm as the fast move, and it's got Dazzling Gleam as well as Weather Ball rather than Psyshock, and that was just because I kept forgetting to TM it to Psyshock. You really do generally want Psyshock, but there was a matchup here that I actually only won because I had Dazzling Gleam, which is kind of crazy, but I guess it paid off, and there aren't really that many situations that you actually want Psyshock anyway, but it does take a long time to get to that Dazzling Gleam. But in every matchup I kept thinking, damn, I need to TM this Ninetales to Psyshock after this game, and then I would jump straight into searching for the next game and completely forget, and then in the next game be like, damn, I need to TM this Ninetales to Psyshock, and just forget constantly, and ended up making leaderboards regardless. Now, these 2 sets of battles are going to be the 2 that actually resulted in me being at 31.43. These are some of the toughest matches, the sweatiest battles against some of the strongest teams, and again, I think there's more to learn than some of the 4-1s and even the couple of the 5-0s that I had earlier on with this team, because watching the team sweep, there isn't as much to learn as there is from watching more varied gameplay where you're winning or losing by 1 or 2 fast moves and both players are showing off a lot of skill. And one of the crazy things about Lugia on the lead is how many leads it actually loses. I thought when I picked it and was going to give it a try, I was like, well, it loses to Walrein. It can kind of go toe-to-toe with Trevenant, but Trevenant does outpace it to Shadow Ball, and the Shadow Claws do add up. So in a 0 shield scenario, Lugia wins, but in anything else, Trevenant wins, and Walrein, the ice damage is going to smash you to pieces. But there's a lot of dark type leads, there's a lot of ghost Pokemon floating around like Jellicent and things. So Lugia loses a lot more leads than I expected it to, and a lot of these games somehow just end up working out anyway. You also find yourself having to stay in a lot of these bad leads, because a lot of people are leading things like Drapion and Skuntank and even Alolan Muck, and these are Pokemon that do very well against Alolan Ninetales as well, so you have to stay in with Lugia and see that matchup through, because you can't swap to Obstagoon, that's your only hard counter, because then they could sweep you at the end. But what I'm finding out is that in a lot of those situations, one of either Obstagoon or Ninetales can sweep the back line anyway. So maybe this is more a comment on them than it is on Lugia, but I do think Lugia is a good shout. In a lot of its neutral matchups, it wins because of its overwhelming bulk. Dragon Tail is fantastic as a fast move now, and Sky Attack is a pretty efficient move. There weren't many situations where I wished I had Aeroblast to absolutely nuke things, and sometimes if people bring in things like Registeel or Galarian Stunfisk, you can actually hit them for a nice chunk of damage with the Hydro Pump rather than the Aeroblast. And there's nothing wrong with Aeroblast. I do generally recommend it as the proper moveset for Lugia in Ultra League. It's such a fantastic move, but I also enjoyed not having to decide whether or not to bait. With Aeroblast, I would just build up the 9 Dragon Tails as if I was going to throw an Aeroblast and then throw a Sky Attack, and half the time you get a shield anyway because Aeroblast would hit so hard. Alright, let's talk about some of these matchups. Jellicent lead is generally a pretty bad lead for Lugia. If they've got Bubble, it's not as bad, but that Hex damage does slowly start to chip away. You can very comfortably survive 1 Shadow Ball, but 2 will take you out, and Jellicent is bulky enough to take a Sky Attack. 1 Aeroblast would do absolutely monstrous damage, so that's why we build up to almost 2 Sky Attacks, because that's how much energy an Aeroblast is normally, and then we throw a Sky Attack and we decide to swap, because Obstagoon and Ninetales have decent matchups against Jellicent, and we decide to try and preserve the Lugia and see what we can bait out. And we actually bait out a Talonflame, which is fantastic to see it here and not against our Leaue and Ninetales. A lot of Jellicent leads do have Talonflame in the back, and it's surprising how often Obstagoon will successfully bait them out. I think we'll let this go, it's just a Flame Charge. Since they'd actually swapped into Talonflame, it's not often people will swap in against you and then throw a Brave Bird. Some people do it, and it often works out for them when they do, but it is a pretty big gamble. Now we are going to let Obstagoon go down. We've got energy on Lugia, and I think we're just going to build up a little bit and then throw the Sky Attack to either pressure a shield or take them out. The good thing about Dragon Tail to Incinerate is that you can throw 3 Dragon Tails and then throw a move before they can throw their charge move, because 2 Incinerates is 10 turns, 3 Dragon Tails is 9 turns, so you're 1 turn ahead. Even if it doesn't quite look like it, you should always be able to throw your move first, even if you wouldn't win CMP tie. Now Lugia comes in, gets absolutely annihilated by a Shadow Ball, and we're going to put all our chips on a Leaue and Ninetales with the Charm to sweep through the game. We're expecting a Bubble Beam, which it is, that's absolutely fine. And what have they got in the back? It's a Greedent. Now we've both got 1 shield. Our fast move damage is going to add up a lot faster than theirs is, but they're very, very spammy with that Body Slam. They're not going to bother going for the Crunch because we'd be resisting it. And you're going to see here how close this game is. We do sneak a Charm through, which does help our case out massively. Any extra chip damage we can get here is going to help, but we are right now in range of 1 more Body Slam. So we're going to go straight for the Dazzling Gleam, and we need that big damage, and it does do a decent chunk, but that Bubble Beam debuff is really hurting us there. 1 debuff from Jellicent really does make a monstrous difference to how hard you can hit things. This opponent knows for sure that they can safely debuff us with the Bubble Beam because we've got no Pokemon left to clear that debuff after, and that's just recognising a win condition in just going for the debuff, because if I can't clear it, I'm going to really struggle to take out their last Pokemon. Speaking of awkward bad leads, we've got Clefable on the lead in this matchup, and again this is another lead that you can't swap out of because Obstagoon loses so badly to a Charmer, but also because it's part Fairy type, this Clefable, it's double resisting the Dragon Tail fast moves, so you're depending entirely on these Sky Attacks to do big damage. They call that we're not throwing an Aeroblast, which is a huge call on their part, but we are going to let this go through, take this Moonblast. We're going to get 1 more Sky Attack off before we go down. Maybe we'll get a shield, maybe we won't. This isn't threatening to KO them, but maybe they want to actually preserve this Clefable and see what we've got in the back. I'm going to bring in Ninetales and go for a very aggressive Charm down, and they're going to swap out to an Alolan Muck, but this is a Snarl Alolan Muck, it's not Poison Jab, and that means that Alolan Ninetales isn't really as threatened because the fast move damage is resisted. They do get to Sludge Waves a lot quicker, so we are going to shield this because the Sludge Wave would definitely, absolutely wipe out Ninetales. Now, what we've done here is we've made an assessment on their team. We've assumed that the Clefable on the lead means that they're double weak to counter users in the back, and I'm actually assuming that this Muck that they've swapped out is to drag out something like an Obstagoon, and then Clefable can take care of it while it's still healthy. So we decided to stay with Ninetales, knowing that because it was a Snarl Muck, we could still take that matchup. They've come back in with Clefable, which is really, really lucky for us. And now we've still got a healthy Obstagoon and some of this Ninetales to take care of whatever's in the back. And it's actually their own Obstagoon, which does struggle quite a bit with fighting damage. Now we are going to bring in our Obstagoon and actually catch the charge move, which is a cross chop, because we need to make sure we get one charge move off. We win CMP tie, which is a little bit lucky, but as we've said, our Obstagoon has very high attack because it's not a PvP spread, and we're able to take the win. Now if we would have lost that CMP tie, their Obstagoon was so low from our counters that we could have just charmed them down anyway with the allowing Ninetales and finished them off and take that win. So winning CMP wasn't the most important thing, it was just important to get some counter damage in. Alright, next matchup, and it's a Gyarados lead, and this is a pretty decent lead for Lugia just because Lugia is so bulky. Gyarados does have access to Crunch, which does hit for a very big chunk of super effective damage, but you can comfortably survive one. They do have to get 2 off to take you out, and Gyarados doesn't get to Crunch that quickly because Dragon Breath isn't the best move for generating energy. They probably will get to an Aqua Tail here, which will finish us off, and they will get to throw first. And I don't think this is worth a shield, because I just don't think it is. We'll let Lugia go down even though we've got energy, go for the farm down with Obstagoon, and they swap out into a Swampert. So they give up the switch advantage that they've fought for to bring out a Swampert. And this makes me think that maybe it's one of two things. Either they've got a hard Obstagoon counter in the back and they're wanting me to swap out of this matchup and line something else up with Obstagoon after, but that'd be weird. Why would they give up switch advantage and swap out the Gyarados? Why would they not just let me farm the Gyarados down? Or it means that they're going to struggle with Obstagoon with both Pokemon in the back, and they're just wanting to not let me get the energy advantage of farming the Gyarados down. But I think I'm going to let this go and commit to a 2-shield charm down on Ninetales and see if Ninetales can just sweep the team here, because they're all shields down, which means we should be able to make it to a Dazzling Gleam, and it's actually an Empoleon in the back. So I made the absolute worst call here, and they're actually very, very strong against Ninetales and just weak to Obstagoon in the back, so we definitely should have brought Ninetales in to the Swampert, and then we would have been very much set up for a sweep with Obstagoon. But sometimes you can try and think a bit too much about your opponent's team. You overthink a situation, you make a bad play, and it costs you the game. We actually do farm down the Empoleon, but we've got a tiny little bit of health. I think even the Swampert could farm us down with Mudshot at this point, and they do. They take us out and they take that win. All we had to do in that matchup was either swap the Ninetales into the Swampert or shield up the Obstagoon, and we would have won. And we just made the exact worst combination of decisions to actually lose that game. But we've got another Gyarados lead in the next matchup, and we're going to play this one a little bit differently. We know we can survive this Crunch, and we're going to get close to 2 Sky attacks if they decide to throw an Aqua Tail rather than another Crunch at us. So we're going to build up to very, very close to an Aeroblast. We're actually 1 Dragon Tail short of an Aeroblast, but this might tempt this Gyarados to shield, which they do, and that's pretty fine. We don't mind that. They actually do throw the Aqua Tail to take us out, and we're going to let this go. We're going to completely sack Lugia off, and we're going to bring in Ninetales, because Ninetales is double resisting the Dragon Breath damage, and we're going to go for a big, heavy charm down. The Aqua Tail's not going to do that much damage, although Ninetales is pretty bulky, and Aqua Tail's a pretty weak move. So we've got shield advantage, we've got an energy advantage, and let's see what they choose to do with their switch advantage. They actually bring in an Escavalier, which isn't the best thing for a lower Ninetales, but also we really don't want to see this thing against Obstagoon. So we're going to stay in, we're going to shield up, and we're going to do as much damage as possible with the Ninetales, because these charms are going to chunk away. Escavalier is pretty squishy in the Ultra League. These charms are really chunking away. These weather balls are doing nice little chunks of damage. And because it's not that overwhelming damage, it's actually let both weather balls through, which is absolutely huge for us. And that means that this Escavalier is low enough now to deal with. We're not going to shield up that drill run. We're just going to go for the farm down with Obstagoon. And they swap out wanting to get ahead on energy to a Giratina. And this puts us in a really good spot, because that Escavalier with that little bit of health would have got maybe 3 counters in, 3 double super effective counters on Obstagoon, which would have done a huge chunk of damage. But what this means now is, because this is a Shadow Claw Giratina, it's only threatening us with the Dragon Claws. We can shield one up at some point. It's like the Escavalier isn't going to make it to another charge move, so this Dragon Claw is the biggest damaging charge move we're going to take left in the game, but it means we can get ahead on energy and have a charge move to threaten the Escavalier if it comes back in, to minimise taking that counter damage. So we're going to build up. Well, no, we're going to throw this. We figure at this point we're healthy enough to take the counters and farm down the Escav. If they do, let the Giratina go. They're actually now shields down, and at this point we need to build up to 2 charge moves. Still got a shield up the Dragon Claw. This is fine. We can still survive 1 more Dragon Claw, and you can see here they swap in, they get 1 counter through, and then they snuck another one in as we throw, but that won't register. Take out the Escav, we're going to make it to 1 more Night Slash, we're going to take out the Giratina and take the win. So Obstagoon able to just, well, not sweep the game, but take out the Giratina, finish off the Escav. And like I said, we'd have probably lost if they'd have just stayed in with the Escav and done what counter damage they could while our Obstagoon was energy dry. But it's common for people to swap into their last Pokemon in that situation to not fall behind on energy, and it just didn't work out for them in that game. So a 3-2 set with some very close games, pushing us up to 31-30. And now these are some try-hard battles coming up right here. And we pull another terrible lead in Umbreon. At least with Umbreon, both our Pokemon in the back deal very well with it. So we actually tried to catch a foul play on Obstagoon, but they hold on to their energy and don't throw. Like I said, players at this level are expecting plays like that, but you still got to go for it and you got to try. We actually bait out a Talonflame, which is fantastic again. Keeps it away from the Ninetales. Talonflame is one of the most punishing counters to an Alolan Ninetale, so getting it out of the way here is fantastic. I'm going to go for these Night Slashes, timing them just right to make sure they can't sneak through. Incinerates, we actually get the boost, and at this point now, I think this is worth the shield and countering down. So we've got switch advantage because Ninetales will absolutely shut down the Umbreon if we've got switch advantage. We're absolutely loaded up on energy as well. Should be able to threaten whatever comes in. It's actually the Umbreon because the Umbreon is loaded. So I like this play because it either means we have to give up 2 shields here to preserve this boosted Obstagoon and this second charge move, or we've got to let it go. And they're just hoping that we don't have another hard Umbreon counter on the team, but we're doing Ninetales. They swap into Swampert, and we've got Lugia, which is already ahead on energy here. And you can see that we're going to be able to take these Hydro Cannons pretty comfortably. I think it's 3 Hydro Cannons really to take out Lugia, but these Sky Attacks and Dragon Tails are really going to start adding up. We'd built up to Aeroblast energy there, so we did get the shield out of the Swampert, and we're probably going to get the second shield anyway with this next Sky Attack, but we're not going to shield Lugia. Lugia is not the win condition, Alolan Ninetales is, and all we're going to do here is get this Swampert low enough so that it's in range of being farmed down by our Ninetales, and then we can just farm down the Umbreon as well. So 3rd Hydro Cannon comes through, takes out the Lugia, but it's put its work in. It got both shields for us, did about 60% of Swampert's health as well. Now we can shield up the Hydro Cannon because we know the Umbreon can't really threaten us with a charge move. Throw the Weather Ball straight away so they can't get another Hydro Cannon off and get us pretty low, and there's nothing left this opponent can do and they're going to surrender. GG. If we hadn't have boosted on Obstagoon in that matchup against Talonflame, I still would have shielded up the second move and gone for Night Slash spam to either pressure more shields out of them or get switch advantage as well, because it is worth going down shields to get a Ninetales locked against Umbreon. Next matchup, Machamp lead, absolutely fantastic for Lugia. You're double resisting the counters, the Sky Attacks are super threatening, you can survive a Rock Slide even from a Shadow Machamp, so it's a very dominant position for Lugia. They swap out into a Berserker, which I don't see many Berserkers in Ultra League, but it's such a good Pokemon with close combat, and I believe it's got Foul Play as well. Shadow Claw is a fast move, Steel typing, it's a fantastic choice. I just don't have one built for the Ultra League, but it is good. They're going to let the Berserker go down after we give up a shield on a close combat. Bit of lag, which you hate to see. I believe that lag does mean, I think it did cost us getting that cross drop off, which is a little bit unfortunate. It looked like we kind of fell maybe half a counter behind, so we couldn't actually get that off, which is really unfortunate. We probably would have gotten at least that shield back from the second cross drop, and just not getting it back is a real shame. And now they've got a Registeel in the back, so the Berserker is definitely there to bait out a fighting type like it did. It baited out our Obstagoon, and now we've got an Alolan Ninetales and a Lugia stuck against a Registeel, which is a really unfortunate position to be in. There's definitely no way we're winning this matchup. And interestingly enough, a Berserker save swap, even though it's Steel type, would have been better bringing in Ninetales, because not many Berserkers are running Iron Head. Most are running a Dark move and Close Combat, which Close Combat's going to do big damage to Ninetales, but Berserker's very squishy as well, so the charms will add up over time, similar to how they do against Escavalier, and then we could have preserved the Obstagoon for the Registeel and maybe had a bit of a better matchup there. But that's a very unintuitive decision to swap a Ninetales into a Berserker for sure. Alright, Dragon Breath Giratina. This is a good lead for Lugia because the Dragon Tails are super effective. They've not got Shadow Claw, which does add up in super effective damage. They don't get to the Shadow Sneaks as fast, which are super effective. Don't hit for massive damage, but they do add up over time. We're going to build up to the Aeroblast, even though, like I said, we don't have it, and then go for a Sky Attack. See what they want to do. We get a shield. Fantastic. And now this should just be a Dragon Claw. So we're going to let it go because we will survive a Dragon Claw and get this next Sky Attack off and see what this opponent wants to do. I'm not sure what we'll bring in to farm down. I don't remember what I did bring in to farm down. It's pretty low. We could probably bring in Obstagoon and get an aggressive farm, but Ninetales is safer. We're going to take less damage in general, like almost no damage actually. And now they've got a Registeel in the back. We swap into Obstagoon, they bring in a Cresselia, and this is looking kind of bad. This is looking like we should have actually shielded up the Lugia to try and control switch advantage against the Giratina, but we actually boost. We get the Night Slash boost, and this means that Obstagoon technically can sweep this entire team now because those Night Slash. We get the double boost. That is absolutely disgusting, and the opponent just surrenders there and then. GG, sometimes the boost giveth and sometimes it taketh away, and my god, a double boosted Obstagoon in that situation exactly when we needed it was absolutely perfect. And sometimes it does just come down to that luck, that even though we happened to give up switch advantage, it meant that it wasn't going to matter because Obstagoon could then sweep. Right, hello and Ninetales, and again, bad matchup for Lugia because it's double resisting the Dragon Tail damage. And you can see those charms are chunking away. Even if they've got Powder Snow, it's super effective. The Weather Balls are super effective. The spam is going to add up and be really bad for us. So there isn't really a good version of this scenario. We can't swap out because Obstagoon loses so badly to a lower Ninetales as well. So it's going to stay in. We get a shield with the Sky Attack baiting an Aeroblast, which is pretty nice, I guess. But also we do want to do some damage to this thing because our only real counter to get this thing down is our own Alolan Ninetales, so we are really going to struggle here. We're going to take a lot of damage getting rid of this thing, and it's just whether or not they swap out into a Blastoise as well. We're going to bring Obstagoon straight in, and we're just going to hope that our Alolan Ninetales can sweep whatever's left after this Blastoise is dealt with. We're going to go for the Night Slash spam, and we're not going to shield this Obstagoon at all because we know that once this Blastoise is down, the Ninetales is going to come back in and take us out. So double Night Slash. No boost this time. I suppose we weren't really due it anymore after the last game. And this Blastoise is probably close to 2 Hydro Cannons now. First one comes through, not going to take us out. Second one will. As we said, no shields here. We know Obstagoon is wasted against that Ninetales anyway. So we're bringing Ninetales, charm down, see what they decide to do. And it's a Politoed in the back. I was kind of worried it was going to be a hard counter to a Charmer. I don't know why it would have been. It wouldn't have been particularly balanced as a team if it was, but either way we're going to be very happy with this. We're going to just keep on charming here. I think we're going to shield this up, yeah, because we're expecting their Alolan Ninetales to be throwing Weather Balls, which are resisted and not going to do that much damage, but we know that these Shadow Weather Balls from Politoed might do a big chunk. We actually get a shield with a Weather Ball that we decide to throw after building up a lot of energy, and you're going to see how much energy we've got now. We're building up towards the Dazzling Gleam. Their Ninetales is going to come back in. Their Ninetales is loaded. We're on about the same amount of health. But this opponent's Charming Ninetales has Psyshock, which doesn't do enough to take us out. And if we had Psyshock, we wouldn't be able to take them out either. But we've got Dazzling Gleam. Boom! We take out the Ninetales and we take the win, all because I forgot to TM away Dazzling Gleam to Psyshock on my Charm Alolan Ninetales, which I am absolutely going to take credit for. Alright, last matchup with this team, and we've got a Skuntank on the lead. And again, this is not a good matchup for Lugia. You do big damage over time with the Dragon Tails and the Sky Attacks, and you can survive one crunch comfortably, but again, the second one is going to take you out. There is the chance of the defense debuff, which they get on us as well, so these poison jabs are going to add up even faster. We should still be able to survive long enough to get to a second Sky attack if they do not throw another Crunch, but they are going to throw it pretty much as soon as they get to it. And I think we're going to we're going to shield this up. Yeah, we want to get this second Sky attack off and either do decent damage or get that last shield. I don't think the Sky attack could take him out. No, they let it through. That's fine. A little bit of lag, they farm us down. Bring an Obstagoon and we're just going to farm down. Skuntanks often run Flamethrower, they can run Sludge Bomb, but we assumed they'd throw a Crunch. They get the Defense Fall again. They're getting pretty lucky with that Defense Fall. They've got a Scrafty to punish our Obstagoon, and they've got a Jellicent to punish our Leaue and Ninetales, which this is a pretty neutral matchup, but we're expecting this to be a Bubble Beam, yep, so we let that through. And the win condition here really is a Leaue and Ninetales and keeping it alive so it can do a bit of damage on the Scrafty, maybe put it into a cross chop range, but they bait us with a Bubble Beam. They had built up for a Shadow Ball there, and realistically we needed to call that they were going to bait us again because their lose condition was to fail a Bubble Beam bait, really. Well, to fail 2 Bubble Beam baits, and we had to recognise that, take out the Jellicent, get some charms on that Scrafty, and now at this point they're going to be able to take us out. They're going to do a Power Up Punch, do big damage, counter us down, and they'll just probably be able to counter down the Ninetales as well because they'll be buffed up. If not, we've got a lot of energy on Ninetales, and maybe we're hoping to charm this thing down and get the Dazzling Gleam off on the Jellicent, but we're not. We're going to pull the trigger, which is absolutely pointless. We should have committed to this farm down. We probably wouldn't have got it, but you've got to try for your win condition, haven't you? And we're going to get hexed down and take that L. Honestly, that opponent probably should have just gone for double Shadow Ball against the Leaue and Ninetales. I think they'd have been in a safer position if they had, because then they wouldn't have given me a potential win condition for calling 2 Bubble Beam baits. But either way, we ended up getting baited at least once, and that was enough to cost us that match. But another 3-1 to bump us up to the 31-43, and just goes to show that even if a team isn't looking like the best, like it's the most balanced, I completely forgot about the Poison Dark types when I actually put Lugia on the lead with Ninetales in the back, and it turned out that there were quite a lot of them on the lead. But still, you can take a surprising amount of wins and get quite high with a team that's a little bit more unconventional. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and as always, I will catch all you absolute legends next time.